This is off-road mission control, notifying Central MCP. We have lost contact.
Yo, microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? The 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business. I float like gravity, never had a cavity. Got more rhymes than the one that's got family. No need to sweat Arsenio to gain some type of fame. No shame in my game, cause I always be the same. Styles upon styles is what I have. You wanna just to fight for, but you still don't know the half. I sport New Balance sneakers to avoid a narrow path. Messing around with this against the size of the... I never have step, cause I'm not a half-stepper. Drink a lot of soda, so they call me Dr. Pepper. Refuse to compete with BS competition. Your name is Special Ed, so won't you suckle with the mission? I never walk the streets, think it's all about me. Even though deep in my heart, it really could be. I just try my best to like go all out. Some might even say, yo, shorty black, you plug it out.
Zulu Nation, mother's last creation. Minds get flooded, ejaculation. Right on the 2-inch tape. The abstract poet incognito runs the cape, not the best, not the worst. And occasionally I curse to get my point across. So bust the floors as I go in between the grit and the dirt. Listen to the mission, listen, missions I do work. As I crack the monotone, chillin' up the jazz, so get your own. Smoking R&B cause they try to dupe me, or the best of the pack, but they can't do rap for it's abstract, original. You can't get your own, and that's pitiful. I know I be the man if I cold yank the plug on R&B, but I can't, and that's bug.
Sometimes you don't, it's just for mere satisfaction. People be hounding, always surrounding, posting, just like a migraine pounding. You don't really fret, you stay in your sense, camouflage your feeling of absolute tense. You're so off to another world deep in your mind. For people seem to take that as being unkind. Oh yo, he's acting stank, really on a regal? A man of the fame, not a man of the people. Believe that if you wanna, but I tell you this much, riding on the train with no dough sucks. Once again, a case of your feet in my Nikes. If a crowd is in my realm, I'll say, Mike, please. Hip-hop is living, can't yank the plug. If you do, the result will end up kind of blow.
I am not an invalid, although I used to smoke the weed out. At least I heed my heart, used to say I had to be out. Scheming on the bookies with the crazy booming back buns. Pushing on the real hard just so we can have the big fun. When I left Maroonsley, I was boulevard status. Battling the MC was when Tip was at his maddest. It was one MC after one MC. What the world could they be wanting to see from little old me? Do I have the formula to save the world? Or was it just because I used to swipe the women and all the girls? I'm the type of brother with the crazy extended hand, kid. This by all my brothers, I was on what my man did. Supposed to be my man, but now I wonder cause you're feeble. I go out with the strongies and I separate the evils. It's your brain against my mind. My nose about to boot out, or your nasty critters, even though you see I bug out.
Welcome back to Industry News. Let's see what 2025 holds for the scene. Starting off with mice, we have the X2 Crazy Light from Pulsar. After a teaser last month, we now have the full release of the even lighter X2 Size 1. The mouse features a custom XS1 sensor and now their own optical switches, the Pulsar Optical, with Pulsar emphasizing that they're not armor-ons. The rest is what we expect and know: 37 grams with full skates, 35 grams with the included UHM WPE dot skates, and has full support for 8K polling using the included dongle. The mouse is available at $120 and is the start to yet another refresh from Pulsar. We can most likely expect the rest of the shapes getting the Crazy Light treatment over the next months. Then we have the MP01S V2 from Fexi and Segan, a refresh of Fexi's first mouse. A spec bump to 3950, improved latency, and the mouse goes on a 10 gram diet to 57 grams. The mouse will also have 8K wireless polling, sometime in the future. And you will have to take Fexi's word for it, as they say it will be available as a free upgrade once final optimization is completed. It is available at $140. Lamsu's Tai Chi is finally available. It seems like they finally solved those production issues after all. 3950, Nordic MCU, 8K polling, support for hotspot switches, and comes in at 49 grams using a magnesium shell. Surprisingly hefty considering that it comes in at 120 by 63 by 38mm, which is not that big. Regardless, the mouse is available at a pretty staggering $170 with some very Final Mouse-esque colorways. And thanks to the good work of Tijon, our longtime researcher here at aimmag, we've gotten this message from Elon, who works at Endgame Gear, claiming that Pixar is likely to start making mass-market high-end sensors, such as the 3950, in exchange for exclusive deals, much like what they have been doing with Razer and recently Pulsar. This is a big change, because it means the barrier of entry for high-end enthusiast mice is going to be much higher, and the days of $70 to $80 mice trying to compete with specs are over soon. HyperX is trying their hands back into the market, and is rough. Announcing the lineup at CES 2025, it has been quite difficult to find details, let alone any specs on them. But we think we've got them. But first, the $120 Haze 2 Pro 4K. Nothing crazy, just a spec bump to 4K wireless polling. Then, we have the $150 Haze 2S, the same shape, but using a magnesium shell coming in at 64 grams, which is heavier than the original, and it only has 1K polling. Not sure what they're doing there. Slightly more interesting is the $80 Saga and the $120 Saga Pro, a modular design allowing for interchanging shells, with even official files for 3D printed shells. The Wireless Saga has 8K and the Wireless Saga Pro has 4K wireless support. This is quite intriguing if not for the fact that both are around 70 grams. Lastly, we have the $50 Fuse, the budget option using a single AAA battery, and it's still 75 grams. 5 releases, 5 duds, impressive on their part. Now into the quickfire round. Shock with the M5 Air. A representative claims that it uses a carbon fiber shell coming in at 29 grams with support for 8K polling. Release date is a claimed March. Final Mouse buyers take another L with the prophecy being delayed by 3 to 4 weeks. But don't worry, your box will be signed by Final Boy himself, just to make it sting a little more. WL Mouse announced the Strider and the Beast X and Beast X Mini Pro, a spec bump to a 3950 with extra options of finally solid sides. And then, that's it. Maybe things are finally slowing down for once. Now, onto mouse pads. Kurosun, known for the Ninja Pad, is back with the Shogun, the control option. As per usual, a lot of the info around the pads are just marketing hype, so be sure to reference reviews first. What we can tell you is that it comes in two sizes, a L at 490 by 420 by 4mm and an XL at 560 by 480 by 4mm at $49 and $59 respectively. WL Mouse trying their hands at mouse pads again with the Chi-Sha, a lineup of 3 pads, a control, balance, and speed option. Nothing out of the ordinary here, other than renaming a Poron base to what they call Slim Flex, and claiming the sides are hand-stitched. We're running out of ways to market these, to be honest. It is available at $33. And welcome back to yet another monthly glass pad roundup. This time we have Planet 9 from Lethal Gaming Gear, the Guardian from Techicide, both pads use the same service as The Beast, can't believe that name is real, and the Polarity pad from Glassworks, with a cleaned, slightly different service compared to the HANA. Now into keyboards. The main story of the month is Final Mouse's Centerpiece Pro, an insane 65% keyboard that is also a display at the same time. There's a lot, and we mean a lot of promises here. 8K polling, rapid trigger and SoC to support using their own switch, again, an entire display built into the keyboard, running off its own integrated CPU and GPU, fully customizable through their web drivers. And most surprising of all, it's available at $350, surprisingly low considering their history. But if you want to make sure you get one, be sure to buy a pre-order access code for God knows how much, because there's of course one. Final Mouse claims it will be shipped in July. We'll see about that. Drunk Gear targeting the high end with the A75 Master. Wait, Master. They spelled it wrong with their announcement tweet. It features an aluminum case with glass bezels and all the specs we've come to expect. 8K polling, rapid trigger, DKS, SoC, web drivers, and so on. Looks quite good as well. But unlike Drunk Gear's other offerings, this one comes in at $289 with 2 switch options and colorways. New UKM keyboard on the way. If you know who the OEM is, be sure to let us know in the comments. Now into miscellaneous news, but this time it's more like monitors. We've got a couple of monitors announced at CES, and we're beginning to ask, what's the point? First, we've got SROC coming in with the PG27FF-X2A and the PG27FF-X1B, 520Hz at 1080p using a TN panel. Quite standard until you realize it's 27 inches, which is odd to see at this resolution. And what makes this more odd is that both panels use the same panel, but the X28 features Wi-Fi antennas and is selling at $580 at a time where OLEDs are barely more expensive. Less weird, but more disappointing, is the Xiaomi XL2586X Plus. Nothing new, just Xiaomi using yet another existing panel, this time a 600Hz one, and refreshing the monitor as they try their hardest to pretend that no one has heard of OLED displays in the last 3 years. And just to make it hurt more, it's $1,000. MSI probably got their hands on the same panel, announcing the MPG 242R X60N, also 600Hz, TN and 1080p. And if 600 is not enough, we have Kuru, announcing the G7, 1080p, TN and a clean 750Hz refresh rate. As numbers so high that even optimized esports titles like Valorant and Overwatch will have a hard time hitting these numbers even on a top tier setup. Back in the normal world, we have MSI announcing the MPG 272QR QD OLED X50. As the name suggests, it is a 1440p 27-inch OLED running at 500Hz, and is even QD OLED instead of the more common WOLED, which should have better colors. Pricing info is hard to find, but it's safe to assume that it's past the 1,000 mark. And that's all the news for January 2025. Welcome back to the record books. It seems the competition over the Season 5 benchmarks continues. First, we have Ciano with a 1920 on VT Wide War 5 targets advanced, 4 hits over second place. Zapatek with a 4105 on VT PGT advanced. Next, Matty back with his dominance over the dynamic category with a 1100 on VT Popcorn advanced, breaking the 1100 barrier when there are only 2 scores in the 4 digits. Next, we have Matty again. You know what, let's just list everything. Both rank 1s on reactive scenes. First we have 3858 on VT Ether advanced. Then a 3824 on ground, leading by 100 points on both scenes. Then a 1308 on Eddie TS, the first to break 1300. A 552 on Drift TS when there are only 3 scores above 520. A 565 on Control TS, leading by 15 points. A 679 on Pentabounce, also leading by 15 points. In fact, he has gotten so many scores he didn't even upload some of them, such as his 4480 on VT Raw Control, or this 1410 on VT .ts. With these, he now has 15 first places out of the total 18 benches for Season 5. Someone better stop him before he gets all of them. Anyways, that's all the workers for January 2025. Links to all files are in the description. Check them out.